Come on. So close.
Howdy guys, welcome back to another project update on La Resistencia. I had the pleasure of kicking off my journey for the year with Brian, who had recently started working it. He was already a few sessions ahead of me and flowing real nice. I started off a bit rusty, but I think it was my second session that I set a new high point on the warm-up lap clipping the perma at the infamous knot jug. I was getting to this spot last season and just could not make the clip. This was a great start to the season, and I was rather excited as I felt that I probably had the strength and power to give this a decent shot. Before we get into my progression on this climb, let's take a look at the 5 sections of this route in a little more detail. First is the grade 19 slab pitch, which offers some superb movement and is great at settling the nerves. This finishes at the ledge, offering a hands-free rest overlooking the Hinds Dam. The second is the first crux and the most physical and brutal awakening to the final overhung section of the climb. The second section finishes at the third perma draw with a nice jug rest available. Third is a small boulder problem up to the final jug rest. This is where most variation in climbers' beta occurs.
Nice job, come on.
The fourth section moves up to the knot jug until you are standing on it with your right foot. Some magicians choose to rest here.
Yeah, got it. Looks good.
The final section features the last heartbreaking crux, followed by a couple of jug moves through to the chains. While this last crux is relatively easy in isolation, it's the gatekeeper descending the route, causing most climbers the biggest obstacle.
Wow, that was awesome.
Brian had one really nice move he was doing in the first crux, getting his right leg up quickly after the transition to the left. This looked really efficient, and I wanted to incorporate this into my beta, as I always felt a little desperate moving back to the right. There were a few teething issues at first, as it took a little while to rewire the muscle memory and just relax and be confident in my beta. I eventually made this section my own, and rather than fighting against gravity, I harnessed it and used the momentum of a pretty wild swing to place this early right foot.
Come on.
On the third session for the season, I figured out how to clip the 7th perma more efficiently, opting for the heel as it felt more secure. This also seemed to create problems, as my tie-in knot kept getting caught on the skip 6 perma draw. I worked out moving back from heel to toe on the right foot created a little more space, and this issue took a hiatus. It was about this point in time that I was pretty confident in my beta. I started visualizing the entire overhung section each night before bed. The next session I had much more confidence in the moves and set a new high point, clipping the 7th perma and pushing on to the start of the last crux.
Come on, you got it. Come on. Come on. Just a little bit tired.
It was awesome that Scotty was able to capture this footage of me, as upon reviewing the video I realised the clips of the last 2 sections were extremely powerful and taxing. I decided I need to forego these clips and instead clip the 6th perma that most people skip, which is ironic as before beginning the season I had already planned to do exactly this. However, I fell back into the herd mentality. This is where the projecting sessions with Scott were really helpful, as he already had an efficient method for clipping this draw. The next session was a stinking hot day in southeast Queensland, so it relieved the pressure of trying to go for the send and gave me the chance to test this new clipping theory. It proved to be on the money. However, I did have to introduce a slight deficiency on the left hold to create the opposing forces between the arm and the heel hook. While it did make it slightly more powerful, it was a very easy and quick clip to make, overall gaining me several seconds worth of juice in each arm for the final crux. There was one small hurdle that was created from these new beta changes. My left foot was too high, causing the move to the last pinch to be impossible.
Like I knew I had to move this hand.
What
I was
happened
like,
there?
no way.
What happened?
I just too spent.
Yeah, alright.
It took failing here twice before I realised something was wrong. The last time I had plenty of energy in reserve, but still the move was impossible. I fell trying to force it, and upon jugging back up the rope, it became clear my left foot was out of sequence.
Hey, on me.
Oh, because I'm doing here normally. Okay, that's the problem. That's what I've been doing wrong.
Because I was no longer having to swap from the heel to a toe, I was naturally just moving into the next foot sequence. This made the next right hand movement feel impossible, as it required the lower foot placement to lock the body in position. Armed with this new beta, I left the session feeling quietly confident.